Hi guys, it's Mary from Moon Goddess Diaries, back again with a short little feel-good story for people of all ages. A story I've designed to help you drift into a place of peace and relaxation. As you listen, sit back in your favourite comfy chair, close your eyes and relax your body and quieten your mind. And drift off into the wartime years and the life of Rebecca, a life of romance and promises. This story begins in a little country village, the kind where everyone knows everyone and the houses are all cute little cottages. And in one of the cottages at the end of the street lived a lovely lady named Jean. She was a widow, and she had a twin sister named Ruby. She often called her a spinster, but just in jest. They loved each other very much and got on really well. Jean also had a lovely young daughter named Rebecca. She was a fresh-faced little rascal of a girl who knew everyone in the village, young and old. She would smile sweetly to everyone on her way through. She loved the monthly village dances and enjoyed having lots of fun, but always remained a lady, of course. It was wartime, and the military would come through town, and all the girls would dance with all the soldiers, until one day she met Thomas. She danced all night with this one soldier, till he was calling her Beck, and she was calling him Tom. She couldn't resist him. She found him adorable, very sweet, and he found her sweet too, and they fell in love. But it was wartime, a time when so many girls had to wave their sweethearts off to war, making promises to be there waiting on their return and to remain true. Rebecca and Thomas promised each other their love would last and they would be together again soon. Her heart sank as she watched the train departing. She thought of her Tom in danger and maybe a little frightened, but fighting for the good of his country. How lonely he must feel. She wrote him often, but she never heard back. She knew it was hard for him to send a letter. Then one day she got a letter. He wrote he loved her for always, and he promised to stay true and return to her. She waited many months, not another word from him, and now she was a new mother too. She loved her baby boy and named him Thomas Jr., Tommy for short, little Tommy. Lots of babies were born during the wartime to poor lonely mothers. But Rebecca was lucky she lived with her mother and auntie, but they were both very poorly too and struggled to keep up with a bouncing baby boy. They were very poor, and poor little Tommy became very ill. She had to get a job in a laundry to pay for medicines for her baby. She worked very hard. One day, she met a man, a very serious-looking man, bit quirky, but very kind and sweet. He had very gentle eyes. His name was Jeff, and he wore his moustache like an evil villain. It made her laugh. He was so opposite in nature. They went out to dinner. She told him about Tom and little Tommy. She suspected Tom was killed in action. She wasn't married, so there was no way to find out for sure. She would get no notification. But all her letters had been returned unopened, bar the first one she had sent him. Jeff was a very wealthy man. He lived in a big mansion, drove a Rolls Royce too. His mother lived with him and many servants. She found Jeff a very nice man though, easy to talk to. He comforted her and made her happy. He played with little Tommy. They got on well, but Tommy would wear a little fake moustache too and make fun. Jeff's mother told Tom his father had the same moustache, so did his grandfather and his father too. It was a family tradition. Jeff didn't mind Tommy, and the other kids too, making fun. It made him laugh. Jeff's mother came to care for Rebecca and little Tommy and insisted she come live with them for the sake of little Tommy. She may have been matchmaking, but I think she really loved them both and had their welfare at heart. But Jeff really did love Rebecca and little Tommy, and every chance he got he proposed. Rebecca herself thought it was a wonderful idea and she should say yes. But each night in her bedroom as she brushed her hair, she pondered on why she was hesitating. Then she saw a vision. It had been Tom. He was wounded and he was resting in her arms. Then she saw Jeff playing with little Tommy so happily. The two of them got on so well, and she knew she wanted to marry him. Wedding plans started. The war was ending too. Soldiers were returning home. Life was good. But one day she was greeting the tired, worn-out returning soldiers, and she thought she saw... No, it couldn't be. Now she was being just silly. But yes, it was. It was Tom. She was so happy to see him. But he stood there right in front of her and said, "Why didn't you write?" That was all he said. He looked so hurt. She was so surprised, but then she said, "But I did. I can show you." Wedding plans were all the go. Little Tommy was in his best suit, excited for the day. Jean and Ruby were all aglow, so happy for their beautiful Rebecca. They knew she'd make a stunning bride. Jeff's mother was all excited too, so happy for Rebecca, and over the moon her son looked so much in love. Yes, he had met a lovely woman named Cynthia. It was love at first sight for both of them, and of course they were attending the wedding. Rebecca was getting ready at her home with her mother when the village bells started ringing. They sounded so beautiful for the wedding day celebrations of Rebecca and Thomas. The village had the biggest dance they have ever had, and Rebecca and Thomas made their marriage promise. You see, she knew that vision was true. She had felt him right there with her in his arms. She didn't know how or why, but she had thanked Jeff and his mother for their kindness. They had saved little Tommy's life. But she loved another man and had to move back to her mother's. It was 2 weeks later when she found Tom, and the rest you already know. I hope you enjoyed this little story and found it very relaxing. I hope it put you in a nice place to feel relaxed and comfy and cozy. Feel free to play it any time you're having trouble winding down or sleeping. This brings me to the end of my video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now, and have a great week.